Hi guys, welcome back to WD18, the Watford fan channel, and for another podcast, episode 4? 3? 3. Great start to the podcast. Got Shane and Nikil alongside me to analyse and give a post-mortem to Arsenal. Yeah. Got Spurs on the cards as well, Fulham away, 1 draw, 2 losses, so not been the best of months for Watford. However, having said that, I'm joined by the wonderful Hornet Shane and Nikil.
My hat-trick today.
Yeah, hat-trick, brilliant stuff. Right, we'll start with Arsenal. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the game yesterday, which was annoying, but I couldn't be there, unfortunately. Shane, just for the viewers that weren't there and for myself, how would you sum up the game and just review it quickly?
Do you want my honest review?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we fucked it up.
That's why we're here, mate.
No, we failed to take our chances. It was another game where a bit like Fulham in some respects, although to be fair, we got a point out of Fulham. A game where actually, had we taken our chances, results would have been so different. I think first half, as I said in my fan cam, we were putting Arsenal under a lot of pressure. The only problem I found was that every time Arsenal went forward, they looked like they were going to score. It's as simple as that. I mean, Cathcart slipping over and giving the ball to Lacazette, I thought, this is 1-0 in the start of like
He got
ton of
so
goals.
lucky when I
Got
watched that.
very, very lucky with that. And then Hughes had a couple of good chances. First one he should have done better with, should have got it on target. Kind of like a volley, Troy did well to kind of head it back to him. But then, second one he had clear off the line. If there's no clearance there, it's 1-0. Second half, we started really well. And I think at no point in the game were we out of it. Match of the day yesterday, for me, didn't do it justice. For us, we were all over them second half.
Never does really.
No, it never does. But every time Arsenal were going forward in the second half, balls were going in there, long balls out of play, came in, shots off target. Arsenal were struggling. We failed to take our chances. It was a severe lack of actually finishing quality. I've got to say that. I mean, all right, Troy had his shot. Cech was in goal. I don't think he saved in that. Leno, far more agile, far better keeper, and he ended up saving that. Andre Gray, for me, disappointing. He should have dinked it, I think, for his chance. Troy again did really well to find him in all the space. And ultimately, Isaac's success with the glaring chance at the end. I think that was a massive chance. I mean, out of all 3 of the chances, I think you've got to give Leno kudos for pulling off that save. Andre Gray, just lack of confidence. I think lack of just ability just to finish. But Isaac's success has got to be finishing that.
It looked like it was in when even on match today. You saw the fans in the corner were like,
I was sitting block 22. I was literally pretty much right behind that goal. I saw it coming towards, and I was literally about to get up and start celebrating. I was up really, but I was about to turn around and start celebrating. It went wide, and I thought, no, that's it. We've lost it. And as I said to Robin at half time, it's all good for us now, but Arsenal don't need to play well to win this. They've got the ability to snatch the win, and they snatched the win, didn't they? It won't be ball into the box. Cathcart really unlucky. I mean, I thought it was a Lacazette goal until after the game. Cathcart went as Cathcart and goal, and it's a good finish. But that's what happens when you fail to take our chances. Had a chat with a couple of Arsenal fans outside the ground, kind of like after the game for Arsenal Fan TV. They said that we played really well. Like from their perspective, they were shocked. We were a strong physical side, but had a massive smile on their face because they didn't play well. 2 shots on target, 2 goals. And in the Premier League, when you have those kind of opportunities, you have to take them. We failed to do it yesterday. Really disappointing.
You get a sense of frustration from Shane there. Is that the same with you, Nikil?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I was saying yesterday in my fan cam, how many games can we be playing superb and we deserve it and we come out with nothing, come out with no points. And there's only so much of that you can really take and do. Now, yesterday it was pretty much finishing. I mean, we had the chances, but it was sometimes the final ball and like some wasteful chances, like Gray crossed it in, no one was in the box. And maybe with the Deeney one, maybe you can argue there wasn't much. It was like a fluffy shot, but then if that quality of us, Deeney's quite quality as well. So the way he takes it, maybe he should have put it into the corners instead of right down the middle where Leno's going to save it. Gray definitely, I thought. Hughes as well, like Hughes, that volley he should have definitely taken.
Absolutely.
And there's only so much, and it's like our movement was good, our paciness was good, but that you can do all that, but the final ball is what wins you games, you know. So, and that wasn't there yesterday.
You touched on it, the amount of games we're now having where we're playing great football, we're creating chances, and we're not finishing teams off. Who do you put that down to? Because obviously the players out on the pitch have to take responsibility.
Yeah.
But the manager, at the end of the day, is number one in charge, but also he's putting that team out. And there's a real argument. I know Success didn't put his chance away yesterday, but he came on for 10 minutes, had a massive opportunity. That was a brilliant run. I know that he should have scored, but he's probably knocking on Javi's door saying, well, if these strikers aren't going to be putting the ball in the back of that, then I should be getting a go. And we saw it against Spurs, that he's got the ability in the 18-yard box.
He looks like a completely different player, as I've said. You know, I go on about how ripped he looks, but it's not. No, but seriously, like that's not. You know, as much as people laugh at that, actually, it's a sign of how far he's kind of come as a player, from being on the sidelines with Walter, being out injured. You know, front page of the Sun on a Bailey's romp. You know, he's come a long way from that. And actually, I called it in my fan cam yesterday. I want him to start against Bournemouth. I do. I'd start him ahead of Gray.
Okay.
I think Andre, look, listen, he's got 3 goals. He's doing well. He looks like a better player. I've backed him a lot this season. He looks like a different player. Him and Troy. He needs that partner. But from Gray yesterday, every time he got the ball, straight to the opposition. Straight to the opposition. The man has got no glue on the end of his boots. He can't control the ball and run with it. Now, every time Troy got the ball, he was looking for Andre. Andre got the ball, tried to find Troy, just could not do it enough. Could not do it enough. And whilst this might sound harsh to a lot of people watching, I think it will send out a message. And I think specifically what you were saying about Javi, 72 minutes, bringing him on last, 13, 14, 15 minutes, it's not good enough. Isaac's success needs much longer than that. I was saying to someone yesterday, bring him on after 60, 65 minutes. It has got to happen. If we need a goal, bring him on. Bring him on. I don't know about the lack of finishing quality. It's just, I think it was one of those things. I think especially for Troy, where you knew he was under pressure in that game because of everything that's kind of gone on and everything. And personally, I did think whenever he was on the ball, we didn't get too much of a nasty reception from the Arsenal fans. Every time he did something, however, the Emirates went up in arms as if they just scored a goal. So it was that kind of atmosphere for him. It's going to be like that every time he kind of plays them. The Vic will get more support. The Emirates, he will be hounded. He will be hounded. Of course he will. But it's something we really do need to address. And a few people yesterday kind of messaging me and all that, being like, I don't think Isaac's success is good enough. I don't think he's this. I don't think he's that. He's been given a chance today. He comes on. He has to score that goal. I think a lot of people are looking at it like, if he had come on the pitch, if he had run at that Arsenal defence, if he had made an impact on the game like that, kind of put that Arsenal under pressure, fine. But because he missed that chance, people are like, he's not good enough. I have to disagree. I think he needs a fair shout.
Yeah, you can't give him half an hour not even half an hour, 15 minutes in a Premier League game against Arsenal.
Interesting fact though, actually, his only goal, I think, in the Prem, one of his only goals was actually against Bournemouth at the Vic. I remember that.
Oh, the header, brilliant header that.
Yeah, I remember they going there actually with a friend of mine, and I was like, you just watch Isaac score now. Ball came in, he headed it, and he dabbed in front of the killed everything.
That's gonna be made to me.
When
he did that celebration, it was one of those moments where the goal was so good, you're like, yeah. Then you see the celebration, like,
no. And I want my team to be running.
Yeah.
Administration.
But he's got the quality. And I would kind of understand if he was going up to him, he'd be like, well, hang on, what more can I do now? I'm coming on, I'm making an impact.
Proved against Reading, Spurs. And Spurs is big. He's not like he's played another championship side in Reading, and he's not been playing teams at a championship level, because he was linked with the move to Aston Villa, but that fell through. So he's proved that he could compete against championship level players. Granted, Reading were poor, but to do it against Spurs, I know it was at MK Dons, but away from home, score, arguably be the best player on the pitch, I think that speaks volumes. And Nikil, Shane's pretty bold saying he'd put him in for Bournemouth. Would you opt with that decision as well?
The way I would do it is I would give them for this particular game, give a half each. So give one half to Gray, give one half to Success. Now, the reason I would do that is because it's been a couple of games where Gray, I know it's a team effort, but Gray really hasn't taken his chances as well as other players. So maybe I would give him like the 3 games, so the remaining game, to make it the 3 games where if he can prove he can take his chances, and if not, I wouldn't even, after the first half, I wouldn't even bring on Success in the 65. I would bring him on 45 straight after the players come out, after half time, and then we'll see. But Success definitely has to have a lot of impact in the game because he can. It shows it. 10 minutes is not enough. He needs time to kind of get into the pace of the game and stuff. And the more time you have, the more chances you have, and the more goals you could score. So I would do it that way for this game, and then see how it goes. And then if he's performing and Gray's not, definitely put Success in. But from the start. But let's see. One half each I would do for the Bournemouth game.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Bournemouth game. It's actually very important now, Shane, because we touched on the month of September. Obviously, it started with it didn't start too well. United, we'll gloss over that one. Then, obviously, Fulham away, Spurs in the Carabao Cup, Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's 1 draw, 2 defeats. It's very important on Saturday because if we don't win and we don't win against a team like Bournemouth, and no disrespect to Bournemouth, but it's a team on paper you should be looking to be beating, then we've seen it so many times in Watford in the Premier League where the wheels come off and that's the season over. I think there's a massive significance on the game on Saturday.
The problem with this, right, is without kind of coming across as being negative or anything, people have started talking about slump. Given the start of the season that we've had, given some of the headlines we've been making eventually, it does kind of feel as though Bournemouth now is a huge game. Because I ultimately think with Bournemouth, they've come to the big last couple of seasons or so. They've picked up 2 draws. Now, we all remember last season. You were sitting next to me last season.
Posh seaside.
Jesus, yeah.
T-word. We won't mention it, but it's explicit.
Yeah. I've got lots of Bournemouth fans on my back for that.
Bobby Madley.
And that's going to happen again.
Mate, Bobby Madley's not here anymore. For obvious reasons. Bobby Madley's brother.
Yeah, we're going to gloss over that as well.
It's your brother, mate. Yeah, I mean, iconic from Shay. That was probably the rant of the season.
It was. Probably.
Or Swansea.
Swansea.
Yeah.
Caraman Robin saying Swansea. Nikil, what was your rant of the season last year?
My rant.
On WD18, not on other channels, probably Pip it. But if you're going to pick one video,
you know what? I'm gonna have to say probably Leicester. Really.
Oh
yeah,
that's good. That's a good one.
Leicester.
Yeah,
I remember your fan cast.
That's a very good one.
Yeah.
No,
and I don't really regret anything I said in there, but I said it in a calmer manner, so it was a start of something where
that was literally the day before Silva got sacked.
Yeah, that was
blimey.
That was a crazy weekend with the news.
Bournemouth specifically, they've managed to get 2 draws. They never seem to give up at the Vic for some reason. They know there's always something in there for them. I said it to you last season when Defoe came on poacher. He'll score. What happened? Ball goes in. Oh, it's Defoe. Right, we need to take our chances in that game. Fulham away was very frustrating. And was it more or less frustrating than Arsenal? For me,
I think it's more frustrating.
It was more frustrating.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
If we got 3 points, as I was saying to you, if we got 3 points against Fulham, and we lost against Arsenal, alright, fair enough.
Completely.
Do you know what? We got 3 points, fine, alright. If we'd held on and got a point at Arsenal, bloody brilliant. Seriously. But here we are now, on a Sunday afternoon, we've only got 1 point.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here watching back that Fulham game, watching back last night's Arsenal highlights, thinking, how the hell have we done that? We should have scored. We should have scored to make it 2-1 in that Fulham, in the Fulham game. I argue if we make the first dent in Arsenal, then I think it's ours. It's ours for the taking.
Fulham?
No, Arsenal as well. Even if we go 1-0 up, there, all of our goals were. Sorry, all of our chances. Sorry, the second half. And if we'd scored, we would have won that.
It's an interesting point you say about the lack of finishing. If we analyse each game, Brighton at home we were clinical.
Yeah.
100%.
Pereira, fantastic.
Burnley away.
Brilliant.
obviously very clinical.
I'm now starting to regret not going to that away game.
That was
Yeah.
Nikil very jealous.
Actually, because
And then Palace at home, we were fortunate, realistically.
terrible weather.
Awful game, actually.
Awful game of football. Yeah.
Tottenham,
Brilliant.
clinical when we needed to be.
The peak of
United was the game where we started to lose our cutting edge up
I
front.
was very disappointed with the performance of United, actually. I think a lot of people coming out say, oh, it was great. I didn't think it was great. We didn't put them under enough pressure. And, alright, this is going to sound a bit, like, off topic, but you look at someone like West Ham yesterday. Look at what they did. You know, They destroyed them. You know, some of that United defending was poor. But...
You don't want to be too unrealistic.
No, you don't. But when West Ham had the chances,
Yeah,
they took them.
I guess
them.
so.
And out of it, straight through, scored. Now, I'm sorry, if Andre Gray's 1-on-1, I'm not sure what's going to happen with him. Is he going to score? Is he going to take one too many touches? I found yesterday, especially with the Arsenal game, ball goes out to Holebas, running, checks back to Doucouré, back to Doucouré, there.
That was
there,
rap. Back
there,
to Corey.
and back 3 times. No, but
Really
back to
slow
Doucouré,
passing,
back to
yeah.
Cathcart, back to Cabasele, back to Holebas, finds
Offside.
Pereira checks back, Holebas is there. Put it in the box! I was screaming for it. Troy and Andre were in there screaming right now. Andre ain't going to get too much in the box because, you know, he's short, but put it in the box. Put those Arsenal defenders under pressure. Mustafi and Holding
Effort taken.
are suspect, in the words of another guy that we know. They're both suspect. For me, Troy didn't put them under enough pressure yesterday. Isaac's success did.
This is a very interesting point, and it was something I wrote down. Now, we all know with Deeney, very honest in the press.
Yes.
And I know we're going a bit away from football and a bit of off the pitch topics, but
Still
Troy,
a talking point.
Yeah, no, massive talking point. Troy Deeney has been on the Monday Night Club, Monday Night Club, couple of weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, Talk Sport, I think he was on as well.
I don't.
5 Live.
5 Live, yeah. So he was on Monday
He's done a
Night.
lot of- he's done a lot of newspaper interviews as well.
About 4 big interviews since the Spurs game.
Yeah.
Now this has raised a lot of
And the Premier
discussion.
League show as well.
Yeah, the Premier League show, but that's a bit different because that's a bit more kind of formal.
Yeah.
But with him going into the media and being so honest as he is, which is credit to him and respect. Oh, the Daily Mail as well.
Oh, yeah.
About Zaha. So really about 5 big interviews have come out. And Troy's been very honest. We all know how he is. He is basically a fan on the pitch. He's someone who's not afraid to speak his mind. He's an honest bloke. And he's no different to how he is in the media and off camera. However, where some people are getting frustrated with, and I'll go to you, Nikil, first. I think I know where Shane stands on this one. People are saying if Deeney keeps coming, every time Deeney goes on a good bit of form, he's the first one to be going into the media. But when it's not going right, he's not the first person to be going on the media and talking about the club and talking about the team. Do you agree with that he shouldn't be going on into the media as much as he does? Obviously, I'm not saying stop interviews, stop doing Premier League show. That's a bit different because that's an interviewee. But when he can be so opinionated on stuff that he's not really related to, i.e. the Zaha, he said that all you need to do with Zaha is basically just kick him. They take it in turns to kick him, which might be honest, but you'll talk about another professional there, and he's being very, very honest. What do you make of it, and do you think he should be going on to as many media sites and interviews?
I mean, in regards to the Zaha thing, I think some of that is to do with his personality, like from his young to now, like just the way he is as a person, that bit of arrogance, and maybe, like you said, don't stop them altogether, but the interviews and stuff, but do certain ones, but maybe like in balance, you know. It's like when we don't win our games, he doesn't really go on, which is different to a fan, because we have our interviews in the good times, bad times, you know, so that's where he's different to a fan, but some of it is irrelevant. Like, he should be focusing on his games. Like Shane made a good point, I think it was in the first podcast, do it in the program notes, all you like, but don't overdo it in the interviews and things like that, because it makes the pundits and everyone
to the fire.
and it just kind of interrogates everything, you know. So it's better to just do certain ones, but not overdo them.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Now this is the one that I think people have got a little bit annoyed about, Shane.
Yeah.
The title is from the Daily Mail. You take it in turns kicking him. Watford striker Troy Deeney reveals brutal tactics to stop Crystal Palace star Wilfried Zaha. There he is. Didn't mean to put that up. But basically, they've got a transcript. It is from the BBC Monday nightclub of 5 Live. And he said, if you were playing against him, you stop him. You take it in turns of kicking him. I know no one wants to hear that, but you hit him this time, you hit him the next time. You don't have the same player tackle him because you know you're going to get booked, which is honest. So then Chris Sutton goes, so can you get in the referee's head? And Deeney goes, you want to say to the ref in that little meeting we have half an hour before kick-off, do you want to be the first one to give him a penalty for diving? Sutton, so do you think that referees can be influenced? Deeney, laughing, clearly. Sutton, that plainly isn't right though, is it? Deeney, it's human nature. Ian Wright, you're trying to get an edge. Basically saying that you can influence the referee's decision. Now, I think we all agree that Wilfried Zaha is targeted in the Premier League. It's very easy to wind him up. But the bit that doesn't sit well with me, Nikil, Shane, is the bit about the referees. I don't think he should be coming out and publicly saying that you can do that, because now Dean's going to be a target for referees. They know what he's doing. They know how he operates. They know that actually it's a bit of an act what he does an hour and a half before kick-off, and he's admitted it and it admits to it.
Yeah, okay, all right. I have many different views on this. First one I'm going to come out with is it's not really groundbreaking news, is it? I mean, really, Troy Deeney tries to influence the referee. If I had £1 for every time he went up to the referee during a game, I wouldn't need to be paying off my student debt in the way in which I am. He's in the ear of the referee constantly. Yesterday, constantly.
It's different.
Constantly.
No, but it's different. I think it's different on the pitch and off the pitch because you're revealing tactics that should be kept behind closed doors.
You see. I think. Look, all right. When it comes to general media interviews with Troy, he shot himself in the foot many times. The cojones one is always going to come back. It's always going to come back. Now, I cannot, under any circumstances, sit here and say I disagree with that. Timing-wise, yes, bad. In hindsight, yes. But at the time, we all loved it. And if you didn't like it at the time, fair enough. But there are plenty of people, myself included, that loved it. When he came out and said it, yeah. Because at the time, it was relevant to Arsenal. At the time, it was a great win, feel-good factor. Should he have done it in the way in which he did? No, he shouldn't have done that. But it was right at the time. With this one, I think that's another cojones one. It's a very tough one.
Not the same level, but as from my perspective, I see it as. I think we all agree with what Troy's saying. No one's not agreeing with what he's saying, but
it's the fact that he's made it public.
To say it, that's the issue with Troy. To be honest, 90% of what he says we all agree with. Yeah. There might be the odd thing that we don't. But what fans have an issue with, and this is what Shane, but a lot of people are saying is, why does he keep coming out and saying it at these specific times?
Because the reason he does it is because of the likes of 5 Live, who know he's very good radio.
So it's BBC's fault?
I think sometimes it is. Why can't he turn around and say no?
Yeah, so it's his fault.
But, is it?
Yeah.
But is Troy in charge of his media commitments?
No.
The club. Surely.
No, well, obviously goes through his agent and stuff.
The club tweet every time he's on the media.
No, I'm 100%. But then you then got to look at the club and saying, why are you letting him do so many?
Well, yeah, that's got to happen because how many times has he put his foot in it this season? Last season, BT Sport shouldn't be doing that. I don't care if we're the featured game on BT Sport. I don't care about that Premier League show, whatever they have on afterwards. Get someone else on. Plenty of great people. Tom Cleverley spoke very well on BT when he did the United game. Idris Mariappa, Etienne Capoue, senior players like that, Aurelio Gomez, get them on. Stop getting Troy on there. The club have to stand up and kind of take some responsibility here. Because all media commitments are surely cleared by the club. They have to be. I thought he was very good on Monday Night Football. I will say that much.
That's different. Troy. That's different though, I think.
Very analytical. Talking about England.
100% agree. 100%
5 Live though, they know they can get him on. And 5 Live Sport, they've got some pretty I'm going to say interesting, people on there with Ian Wright and Chris Sutton. Chris Sutton's always looking for a bit of a wind-up. And that's why they know they can get him on there. And they know if you put a question to Troy, he will answer it in as honestly as possible.
So, is it an issue then where the club should be offering other players, or whoever it is, the media? So is it actually a media issue
I think it's a media
BBC,
issue.
obviously Deeney, the reason why he's on is one, because he speaks so honestly, two, he speaks a lot of sense, but three, they know he'll be 100% honest and raw and organic.
He's not a media trained robot.
Exactly.
And that's why people like it.
But that's why everyone you meet, and Nikil, you must have had it, every opposition fan you meet, they're like, Troy Deeney FC. Oh, I only know Troy Deeney.
But that's
I think that's just...
It's frustrating.
It is. I mean, some of it is the way he does his interviews, his personality, and it's like the Arsenal fans, everything I hear out of them was Troy Deeney, Troy Deeney. They can't focus on anything else, and it's just like, it's just not good. And that day, I think when Deeney came out with the cojones bit, you got to we had a very good night that night, winning against Arsenal, cleverly getting the winner. Sometimes it's unnecessary. Like, sometimes you have to say to Deeney, think before you speak. In some way, you got to be that blunt, because sometimes when you're momentum, you have to keep things. You don't want to, you don't want to overexcite things, you know. And that was, like I said, that was a good night, Saturday night, and we should just enjoy the victory. Sometimes you can go on after the game, but you just got to watch what you got to say.
See, I don't understand with that Arsenal game in particular. I'm sure, as the captain, he would have done this post-match interview live on BT.
Yeah, he did. That's another thing I didn't know about.
So why are you going on an hour later talking rubbish?
No, 100%, because straight after the game, he was cleverly saying, fair play to Troy, he was like, this guy's been the best player this season, no, he's not getting the praise he deserves. But then 20 minutes later, he's had a shower, and now he's in the BT studio. That doesn't really sit well with me.
Listen,
Troy... It's a year ago now, blimey.
Yeah, it is, pretty much, no, we are coming up to a year of that, and look, Troy is Troy. I don't think we'll ever change this whole Troy Deeney FC rhetoric until something else happens. I just don't think that's ever going to happen. But what I would say is the club needs to take a proper look at media commitments for the rest of the season. Yeah, we've got so many great players in this squad. So many players that have got great stories to tell. They can talk about the club. You know, I look at someone like Andre Gray, for example. He had an interview last season, I think, on the Premier League show again. He came across really well in that. Let's put other players forward. It will vary, depending, of course, now on our TV commitments between now and the rest of the season. But I think broadcasters know what Troy's like. I think fans know what Troy's like. And you would have noticed, I think specifically, and I know it's not exactly the same, but Monday Night Football, Troy got a very, very positive reception from fans because people actually really enjoyed him coming on. He should be doing more of that and less of the 5 Live stuff. In a controlled studio, he's fine. But putting him on the radio like that, for me, and putting him on somewhere like BT after a game, the adrenaline, let's be honest, is still pumping after that, because it isn't that far between full time and that interview. He shouldn't have done it. I think in regard to his Zaha comments, yeah, they weren't the best. And is Troy going to be more of a target for referees? Maybe, maybe not. It'll kind of depend. I thought yesterday though he got booked pretty early on in that first half. It diluted him slightly because he knew he was in the referee's reckoning, and he just knows that. But in the same way, you know, he comes out and he talks about, we do this to Zaha, we do that to Zaha. Oh, hang on, how many times did Richarlison get kicked last season for us? Pereira does that stuff for us. All right, fine. These players don't come out and say it publicly. Same kind of thing applies.
Moving on to a new segment on the podcast. It is our 3-word reviews from you guys. You guys got in touch on Twitter and Instagram at WD18 Fans. Shane's got the Instagram ones. I have got the Twitter ones. We've kept it under 18 with some of the language.
Marvel's not going to be read out.
Nikil, do you fancy look at the Instagram, see if you see any ones you like?
Let's have a look.
I'll start. I mean, there are a few F words in there. Aaron Benny says disappointed, not surprised. I think I relate to that one. Can't attack matey, says Henry.
Ooh, jeez.
Take your chances. Should have won. Onwards and upwards.
Yeah,
Saw it coming.
Okay.
I like that from
That
James.
That one there is an interesting one.
The slump begins from Philip Pattiston. Negative. 3 points dropped.
I would agree with that, absolutely.
I mean, there are a few which basically sum up our missed chances.
This one's interesting by Mark Oaten, still top 6.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a very positive one.
Very positive.
Jenny,
Yeah.
on Instagram, Jenny Dore, we deserve better. I would argue with that.
But that could be interpreted in any way, though.
Yeah, it could do.
Like different manager or something.
Someone else
We
that.
deserve cheaper pies.
Yeah, we deserve Balti
We
pies.
deserve
better.
Pritz 19 looking ahead, marching on to Bournemouth. Fair enough.
Is that
1881.
6 words?
No.
It's looking ahead, marching on to Bournemouth.
1881_news, quality playboys. I thought we played well, in fairness to that. The rest of them are all swearing. Sorry.
No swearing if you want to feature
Watford
on
fan
next
page,
time.
1881, keep on believing.
Oh, I like that.
It's a nice
Take the
one.
positive, says Chris White.
Yeah, some interesting ones. in there.
Extra, full stop, shooting, full stop, practice, full stop.
Actually, interesting. On BBC, I think it was Final Score. I think it was Jackie Oatley was doing our game, and she was actually there doing some score reports, and she said for the vast majority of the game, Watford were on top. But I'm sure when they come in Monday morning, there'll be shooting practice required. Is what she
No,
said.
100%.
So
We'll never learn, says Dead-Eye Decore, same old story.
yeah.
And the best team lost, says Jimmy.
Amanda
the
Hunt as
Hornets.
well. Look at this one. Lucky Arsenal. Rue missed chances.
We've got 6 words in there.
Lucky
So
Arsenal.
Amanda,
Two
That's
lots of three. Two lots of
two.
three.
That's two.
right, okay, so they are the 3 word reviews. If you want to get involved next week after Bournemouth, we'll tweet and post on Instagram, so let us know in the comments of those posts. Moving on and looking ahead to end this podcast, the next 5 fixtures, and I was discussing it to the guys beforehand, how big it is. The next 5 fixtures are huge. So we obviously got Bournemouth on Saturday, and then the international break, which is ridiculous considering it's been like a month.
We just had one.
I know. We've then got Wolves away, Huddersfield at home, Newcastle away, and Southampton away. Nikil, I'm sure you'll be going to every single game.
I will do, you know me.
Apparently, Southampton away, the trains aren't running or something.
They're not running, so I actually booked mine, and then I found out they're not running, so I had to get a refund. And then I booked the National Express.
Coach it is, lads.
And looking ahead to before those games, Southampton, you look at those 5 fixtures. We've obviously got then Liverpool, which will be a tough one. I don't expect us to get anything, but at home maybe. But Bournemouth, Wolves, Huddersfield, Newcastle, Southampton. How many points, Nick, we should be getting out of those 5 games? Or targeting?
For me, out of those 5, so maximum you could get 15.
Yeah.
So I would say, for me, 9 out of the 15. Or
9?
10.
Yeah,
9 or 10.
I think that's realistic.
I think Liverpool is one of the games where I think we, especially at home, like my cousin's a Liverpool fan, and I was talking to him yesterday, and he said, at home, we can do something. We can even beat them. He thinks.
I think we can be anyone.
But I'm genuinely worried about Liverpool, though.
It could be a trouncing.
Their
It could
attack.
be a trouncing. But anyway, don't get too ahead of ourselves, Shane. You've just emphasised how important these next 5 games. And Robin said off air it could shape our season. Agree with those sentiments?
I've got to agree with that. I think. Look, I look at the games we've got here at home. Bournemouth and Huddersfield. We need to pick up wins on that. Huddersfield cannot be doing the double over us again this season. Absolutely, never in a million.
Especially with their form as well.
I think you're asking me for points we could get. I'm going to go for 10 points.
I think Bournemouth could be tough.
I think we'll probably beat Bournemouth. I think we'll beat Huddersfield. I can see a Wolves loss incoming. Like, they're looking good at home. Again, newly promoted sides, as they always say, all the pundits, everyone says you've got to win your home games. Then I looked at all their home games and think, apart from that side, maybe like the top 6, try and get something in all these games. They beat Southampton yesterday. Southampton were poor. But you just never know with us. I think we'll beat Bournemouth. I think we'll beat Huddersfield. I think we'll beat Newcastle as well. I can see us dropping points away at Southampton. I don't know why. We don't tend to fare very well at St Mary's for some reason.
It would just be so Watford though to trounce Wolves and lose to Huddersfield. I mean, that would be pinnacle Watford.
I'll be brutally honest with you, mate. I cannot. If
Yeah,
we get a point,
side.
if we get a point at Wolves, I'll take it now.
100%.
I'll take
a
a point at
0-0.
Wolves. Exactly. But looking at just at this now, we've got the fixtures up here in front of us. Like, I'm looking at it now. Our November is pretty tough. We've got Newcastle, Southampton away, Liverpool at home, and then our December is like Leicester away, City at home, Everton away, which is just
That's a big game.
the one away game.
We play Everton in the space of 2 months.
Yeah, that's just how the fixture usually works like that. And then of course over Christmas as well. You look at some of our Christmas.
Yeah,
games
it's a big
It
period.
was
Away
like
at-
Leicester last year.
away at West Ham,
Mm.
2 home games, Liverpool, Chelsea, and then Newcastle.
Mm.
Oh, I mean, come on, For me, look, and I said this last season when we first started the channel and everything, and anyone who does know me will know this for a fact. For me, I always say the Christmas period starts first game in December. Not at this 22nd of December, that's too late. It's about the momentum. We have to have momentum. We don't tend to fare that well over Christmas.
Last
You
year
remember
especially.
last season, oh my goodness me.
Yeah, that was poor.
Boxing Day, 2-1 win, overexcited, deflated 3 days later. It was a 2-1 defeat to Swansea. That's probably the worst game I've seen last season at the Vic.
And that Christmas period, Nikil, it's going to show how good our squad depth is, because
Yeah.
we all think on paper it's pretty good, but come December we'll actually see how good it actually is.
Now that's where the topics of conversation of transfers and 1 or 2 bigger names of
Yeah.
what we wanted. Now that's where the Paco Alcacer names will be coming up and things like that, maybe, in the strike department. But
Yeah.
what it is, I mean, our squad depth is good for certain parts of the season, but Christmas is the key one. And I think I'm a high aimer. I'm sure we all are, but I think games like even City, we should be at least trying.
Oh yeah, well I mean yeah, but we have to try in every game. We have to give 100%.
We have to give 100%, mate, but
for the badge.
I mean, yeah, for the badge. But I'm looking at a team like City. They look
Not many
unbeatable.
teams will. Yeah.
They look unbeatable.
I think
Liverpool as well. All right, Liverpool struggled yesterday, but look at the calibre of players they're coming up against. They'll look at
And they deserve to win that.
Yeah, they
if
will.
you look at the
They will.
chances.
And the way I see it is, even if you go all out attack, or even park the bus, they can break that bus. And
Yeah.
even if you go all out attack, you're screwed. So there's that thing, you've got to find that balance. But that's where this year, I believe in having he can do that. And for me to say that, I must see something. So why there's no reason why we can't, but it's just going to be like City especially, like more than Liverpool. They're just like I wouldn't say invincibles because they've already they haven't lost, but they've got that cutting edge to win that league back, try and win that league back to back.
But I think as well, like, and a few fans picked up on it yesterday, and I've got to kind of like say something about it as well. It just seems to be, I think, especially at United at home, specifically this one, and I think almost a little bit yesterday as well. First goal conceded, heads dropped. If that happens in our next sort of match, all right, Bournemouth go 1-0 up inside the first 20 minutes,
They score a second. It's all
and they score a second. It will be all over. Huddersfield last season, we all saw what happened. All right, fine. Troy got sent off and all that, and that had a big impact on the game. But by the time he got sent off, we were 2-0 down with some dodgy defending. We cannot afford for that to happen. Now, am I confident that we can get wins at home? I am. But fail to take our chances, and the same rhetoric will be repeated. Teams will get back into it, and they will punish us. They will punish us. Bournemouth, I think, we can put them to the sword if we take our chances. I know that's a very generic point to make in football. If you take your chances, you score. But for us, I think it's just genuinely
It's very relevant.
Yeah, it is. It is very relevant. Take our chances against Fulham. Take our chances against Arsenal. We have 6 points. We're flying. Right now, we've only got a point. And Bournemouth on Saturday is massive.
Big game on Saturday. Hope to see you guys there. We'll be doing fan cams as usual. Nikil touched on 2 FIFA tactics. Park the bus and all out attack. We are
Park
bringing
the tractor.
we're bringing FIFA 19 content to the channel. The start of
Career mode.
a career mode, but I'm trying to think. We're trying to think of a name for basically trying out all the different game modes, playing against each other, having a pretty chilled Watford FIFA
Sundays.
session, FIFA Sundays maybe. But yeah, we've got a lot of FIFA 19 content coming out. Obviously got our content in the week. So if you do like it, make sure you do leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe down below and comment down below what you also made of the podcast. Make sure you follow Shane on Twitter and Instagram, Nikil on Twitter and Instagram. Links will be in the description, and we'll see you in the next video.